kind of nice to have it down. It's been so hot lately that I've been having it down or up just constantly. And when I went to take it down yesterday, it was like one of those where my head actually hurt from having my hair pulled up for so long. You know what I mean? You ever had that happen? Okay. Enough about my hurty head from my ponytails. We are here. We are a little bit late this morning, but my workout took longer than I expected it to. So, I digress. We are here to be planning our day, planning our week. That's something that I want to talk about a little bit today is yes, we do our plan like I do it in my little Stology notebook. This is my planner, my tried and true trusty planner. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to need a new one before the end of the year. That's how much I have left in it, but I have one sitting and waiting for me. For next year, I think I might go in a different direction. Good morning, Amanda. I might go with a common notebook. Anyway, more on that when it actually happens. Good morning, Sarah Wiley. But for now, this is my trusty little notebook where I not only plan out my day with this very simple layout that I do where I lay out the hours, and then I have my to-do list and any other notes and anything over here. And then on this side, good morning, Joy. I carry that out throughout the week unless I have specific notes that I need to write. And I didn't do my full week this week because I thought there might be, going to a lot of like workshops this week and different things where I'm probably going to want to take notes. So I was leaving open space, whereas like last week, I prepped the pages for the 5 days of the work week. This week, I was like, I want some open space to be able to write any notes from workshops and whatever that I do. So I'm not gonna do that kind of prep. But before I do my weekly pages each week, I do a weekly page. Hi, Dawn. Good morning. Happy Monday. So this is for the whole week. I write out content that I have coming out, to-do lists, which I obviously haven't put in for the week, but I do a little brain dump for the week as a whole that things I need to think about, things I need to be aware of. I don't usually put appointments on there because I go through and I add those in from my Google Calendar. So even though I didn't prep all the pages for this week, I did like spend some time with my Google Calendar to make sure that I went over what appointments we have, things that I just need to be aware of. And I need to know like, okay, these things are coming because that's just helpful for my brain. But I could write those down if I hadn't, prepped my pages just to have stuff to be aware of. But I think it's a really good place where you can go through kind of your last week's pages, see anything that didn't get done, move that over to one list so you're not like searching through all the pages as you're trying to make your to-do list every day. I try to consolidate those lists to make sure I haven't missed anything. Things that are continuing projects, like I have a bunch of books that I am trying, the pen just fell out. A bunch of books that I am trying to finish reading for the podcast and for marketing stuff and whatnot. So I have a lot that I need to stay on top of and projects that sort of like carry over from week to week. So that is a helpful practice, is having this weekly page to kind of condense everything and talk about things you're looking forward to. It can also be a great place to kind of like reflect on what happened in the last week, things I want to make sure I make note of what worked and what didn't, and that sort of thing. You have all your to-do lists in one notebook for that reason. Yeah, I got into, I used to do this. I had a notebook. I had one, huge notebook that I carried around for years. That was how big it was. It lasted me, I think, almost 2 years. And it was the one central place where everything went. And then these last couple of years, I didn't have that. I had moved over to an almost 100% digital planning system, but then I realized there were still things I wanted to write down. And so I ended up having just like post-it notes everywhere. If you guys are patrons, you probably saw like my desk would just be covered in post-it notes all the time. And I eventually was like, why am I doing this? This is silly. I need to go back to my one book method where I can keep notes. I can add in post-it notes. If I have taken post-it notes, I can at least like have them in one spot. I can have my planning in there. It just like, I have one of those visual brains where I can sort of see like where in a book something is. And so when I have it written down, when I've actually written it down by hand, I find that it goes into my brain deeper. I remember it. There's a lot of research behind that hand to brain connection, that it does drive things in deeper than when we are just like typing things into a computer. And so I feel like it helps me to be more productive and know that if I have taken a note, it is either in this book, or occasionally I will have stuff in my notes app if I don't have my book with me, or, you know, I'm in bed and I remember something or whatever, and I throw it into my notes app. But those are pretty much the only two places that I am going to have anything that I've written down. So I don't have to worry about like what app I put it in, or what, you know, other notebook, or where it could possibly be. No, it's going to be in one of these two places. So that is really helpful for me to just like keep on top of things and to not constantly have to reinvent the wheel. Like I said, like being able to go back through your pages from the past week, see what you got done, what you didn't get done, what you need to make sure you stay on top of. I think that is really vital to be able to remember stuff moving forward and have things not just like slip through the cracks. So that is a really helpful practice for me, is to just have one book and to make sure I take that time at the beginning of each week to look back over the week before. Like even just when I was flipping through there right now, I was like, oh yeah, that thing didn't get done and that thing didn't get done. So I need to make sure I copy those over. And then I have lists like we're wanting to take, or I'm wanting to take, I say we because I'm going to make my son do it, like new stock photos for my website and social media and all those kinds of things. I did it with a good friend of mine 4 years ago almost. If you guys have been to my website and or even seen a lot of like my profile pictures and stuff, my hair was very short. Like things have changed a lot. My hair has gotten super long since I've started using Monate. And so I need to, you know, take some new photos and get some things updated and have some. I know, I did. I loved my hair back then. It was like I embraced it for that season of my life. It was an accident when it happened through two bad haircuts, and then I ended up cutting it myself, and I really ended up loving it. I'm just like, I'm in a different season right now where I'm liking the longer hair, and I'm also 4 years older, and it feels like a good time to get some new stock photos. I have a different dog than I did back then. So it's a good time to kind of update things. And I want to make sure that when we actually do that, because I'm wanting to get like some product shots and different things. Speaking of which, that reminded me of another product shot that I need to take. I want to have this stock list that when we go to do the photo shoot, we just know like, okay, these are the pictures that we're taking, and we're gonna knock it out, and we don't have to like hem and haw and try to figure out what it is we need to get done. Like I'm already creating that list so that it's easy. I know, isn't it crazy that it was 4 years ago? I'm trying to not like get caught in that like, oh, how much more could I have gotten done in 4 years, you know? But trying to like let that go and not worry about it and just be like, well, this is where we're at now. A lot has changed again in 4 years. And so I need to like keep moving forward, keep getting things done, and meet myself where I'm at right now. So yeah, so we also I conned him into helping me with some YouTube videos. I have a new sponsor of YouTube videos. Here we are on YouTube. So I've started putting the podcast here on YouTube, which is pretty fun. I'm excited about that. And then I also I'm trying to do some, I know they are really ridiculous. I feel like I could have been a dental hygienist, but but I'm not. My mom works for a dental office. Anyway, so I'm putting up most of the podcast episodes will be on YouTube except for Katie, because Katie is like, no, that I'm not doing that. I'm like, oh, well, okay. Right, Sarah Wiley? Absolutely. Absolutely. Surviving and providing for our families this far and making it through all of the emotional stress and the things that we've been through. We are so resilient. Like, way to go, us. High five if we could. I would give you some sort of like fireworks and whatnot if we were over on Facebook or Instagram. So anyway, YouTube. Have the podcasts coming out over here on YouTube. I'm excited about that. And then I have some videos coming that he is helping me with. So we did like B-roll shots yesterday for 2 videos, and we did the talking head for both of those. And I was like, if you could just edit them for me, because that is the biggest like hurdle that I have to get over. And we've been talking about this for a while, but I know he's always like hesitant or like, I've got other things to do. But he stepped up to the plate. We got up yesterday morning. We recorded these 2 videos. When I came downstairs to do the talking head, he had like set up his boom mic and like his big camera because he's a filmmaker. And so he has like all this professional equipment. And so it's going to sound amazing, and it's going to hopefully look amazing because he's doing all the editing. And so it's not just going to be like me sitting there talking to the wall. It is like, it's going to have the B-roll and everything. So I'm super excited. And then I'm hoping my girls are actually going to be gone next week. So we're going to try to really maximize that time. And he and I are going to try to knock out a whole bunch of videos. So that's a lot of stuff that I am trying to do this future planning on, as I'm having these pages in my planner that I'm reserving for things. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to brainstorm. These are the videos we're going to do, and these are the kinds of shots that we need. And so it's a nice space to just have like one place to have all of that, have it easily portable with me and all of that jazz. So that is what I am doing. I would love for you guys to talk about your top 3 things that you are going to be doing today. What are you going to be on top of? What are you going to be getting done? I am hoping to get out a newsletter. I am going to be, because I'm applying for some side job stuff, plus I'm working on my own platform. So like I said, I'm going to a lot of workshops this week and trying to get all of that kind of thing done. So I have got a very full list today. I also have someone who's coming over for a lash appointment. I can't do my own lashes because they're attached to my own face, and that would be very difficult. But I'm doing lashes for a lash client who is coming over this morning in just a couple of hours. So I have got a jam-packed day. As you can see, I did plan it out last night, like the basic framework for what my day is going to be. I do have some white space here that I know I'm going to fill in with other things, but I need to see how the first part of the day goes before I figure out what's going to go in that afternoon slot. So hopefully the day is going to be super productive and get a lot done. It always helps me showing up here with you guys because it just gets me moving in my day and has me like someplace to be accountable to. So I'm really grateful for all of you guys who show up, because it helps me to show up to my own life. At this very moment, you're switching to a bigger notebook, needed 2 more lines for each day. I'm very curious, what notebook did you go with, Joy? For me, this is like the perfect size. It's a B6 Stalogy. It's not too big, it's not too little. For me, this has been like planner perfection for me personally. I know that is not the case for everyone. I also have this little size that I was just going to do like journaling and stuff in, and maybe I will come back to it at some point, but it feels too little. I don't know. It always feels kind of goofy. You could see that's the size difference. So maybe at some point I will come back to this. It's more of almost like a field notes, but it just didn't end up driving with me the way that I thought it would. You have a vet appointment, a play date, and you will get to the gym. Yeah, girl. Small child didn't sleep well, so you're also dragging around. Yeah, I didn't sleep great either last night, thanks to a dog, but that's okay. We keep going, right? On vacation for the next 2 days. Nice, Amanda. So hopefully getting a workout in, but otherwise just enjoying the beach and hanging with the kids, taking a break from lists and house packing. Amen. So glad you are getting a little bit of a break, Amanda. That is so nice. So a random notebook you had for paper pie notes in between the little size and your big 8.5 by 11 size. Okay, so yeah, it's just like a good in-betweener. When I was looking for a notebook, before I started watching all the videos about stologies online, it's still in the plastic wrap, but I bought this thing thinking it was smaller, thinking it was closer to the size of something else that I had before, but this felt like giant to me and totally impractical. Like I was never going to utilize that. So I don't know. This may go into like my kids' back to school supplies for the year. I'm not entirely sure, but it was like, yeah, not going to happen for what I needed. I need my planner to like feel the right way or I'm not going to use it. Sarah is going to move all your things to the basement bathroom, get oils to a friend, that's so sweet, finish a CC chick plushie. Cute. My daughter started crocheting recently, and over the weekend, she like watched these YouTube videos and made these like crocheted stars that she's sewing together and they become a bag. It was super cute and she figured it all out by herself. Don't you love that? When your kids like figure stuff out and you didn't have to learn it and then teach it to them. I mean, I know the basics of crochet and I've crocheted like blankets and stuff, but I have more experience knitting than I do crocheting. And so the fact that she just did it and didn't really need my help, it was awesome. It was awesome. 7.5 by 11, you need a 1 page a week setup. There you go, Joy. Like everybody has different needs. And like I used to love a weekly setup on 2 pages where the days were in columns next to each other. I liked a vertical layout that way. And it was great for me to see my week in that sort of a snapshot. Now I like a daily page. As you can see, I like being able to have like notes space for each day that I can put whatever I need to on that day. But I still really rely on being able to see my week in Google Calendar. So I don't have the weekly spread in here, but I can see it on Google Calendar, which does help me. The Common Notebook, I think that's what it's called. It's by Sterling Ink that I'm considering for next year. It does have both. It has the pages to do your daily spreads, but it also has weekly spreads. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think there's a few different versions, but for me right now, this is what's working for me. In a year, I may be in a different place. I may have a different system. I think it's important to know that your systems can evolve with you. You have different needs for different seasons of your life, and it's okay to have a hybrid system. So yeah, I think it's really important for people to figure out what works for them because the most important thing is that you use it. It's no good having any sort of system if you don't actually utilize it. So that I think is the most important. Get kids to multiple camps, long work meeting, and a family meeting about your mom's placement. That sounds like a lot and not very fun, Colette, if I'm just going to be honest with you. So I am sorry. That sounds like an intense day, and I hope it goes really well for you. You bounce from a big size and the smaller size. Depends on school. Yeah, everything can change in different seasons and even different seasons within 1 year. Summer is very different from school year. You know, there's a lot to juggle. There's a lot of different things to consider. There's your personality to take into account. So many things impact what your planning style is. I have had years where I have been completely analog. I have had years where I've been completely digital and I lived off of Trello. And then there's years like now where I feel really comfortable having a hybrid system. It works really well for me from like personal to business and all the crossover. So you just have to figure out what works well for you and then keep assessing whether it's continuing to work well for you. Because, like I said, that's the most important thing, that you have a system that you use. You can have the prettiest planner in the world or the most organized Google Calendar in the world. But if you don't ever look at them, if you don't ever use them, then they're a waste of time and money. So obviously Google Calendar, just time, it's not money, but still it's a waste. So I firmly believe in utilizing something that you will actually put into practice. Okay, ladies, I have to go jump in the studio before my son gets up and takes a shower this morning. So I am going to go run down there and get some voiceovers recorded. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. You just had a week-long vacation, so it's back to the grind. Well, at least you had a little bit of rest before you had to jump into all of that, Colette. Your small one is your first filled out planner. That's awesome. Use notebooks usually. There is some gratification in filling something completely. I will say that for sure. Okay, I'm going to go, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We will be back tomorrow right around 6 a.m. over on Instagram. You will see me later this morning over on Patreon. If you are a patron, you can find that at patreon.com/livewelltogether. And yeah, until then, go be bold and gracious. Bye.